Dawn breaks over the plains of ancient Macedon, bathing the land in pale gold as dust floats gently in the cool morning air. A wide training field comes alive with murmurs as soldiers, nobles, and servants gather to witness a demonstration meant to glorify royal power. At the center stands a massive black stallion, muscles tense, eyes rolling with visible panic. This is not a celebration. It is a test, and the atmosphere carries unease rather than pride. The horse suddenly rears, hooves slamming down with thunderous force. Gasps ripple through the onlookers as handlers struggle to maintain control. The animal's power is undeniable, but so is its fear. Every movement sends dust into the air, and with each violent reaction, confidence drains from the men tasked with riding it. What was meant to be a display of mastery is quickly becoming a public humiliation. One by one, elite horse trainers step forward, their experience etched into scarred hands and hardened expressions. Each mounts with caution, only to be violently thrown moments later. Bodies hit the ground, pride shatters, and nervous laughter spreads through the crowd as a shield against embarrassment. The horse remains undefeated, and whispers begin to circulate. Perhaps the animal is cursed. Perhaps no man can control it. Watching from the edge of the crowd stands a boy of 13, Alexander the Great. He does not join the laughter, nor does he look away. His gaze is fixed, analytical, absorbing every detail. Where others see violence, he senses fear. His eyes track the horse's movements, noting how it flinches not from men, but from the shifting darkness beneath its own hooves. Alexander's mind races as understanding takes shape. The horse is not wild, it is terrified. Each time the sun shifts, the animal reacts to its own shadow, mistaking it for a threat. This insight, simple yet profound, separates the boy from every seasoned trainer present. He steps forward, breaking the invisible boundary between observer and participant, his voice calm but unwavering. Murmurs turn to disbelief as the boy speaks aloud, explaining what no one else has seen. The crowd is stunned into silence. All eyes turn to the king, Philip II of Macedon, a veteran of countless wars. He studies his son carefully, weighing risk against instinct. After a long pause, he gives a single nod. Permission is granted, and fate shifts course. Alexander approaches the massive stallion without haste. He speaks softly, his voice meant only to the animal. With gentle strength, he turns the horse toward the rising sun. The shadow vanishes. The horse exhales sharply, its panic easing just enough to allow trust to form. In that fragile moment, the impossible begins to crack. Mounting the horse, Alexander settles into the saddle with deliberate care. Time seems to stretch. The crowd holds its breath as the stallion stiffens, testing the boy's resolve. Then, with explosive force, the horse surges forward, launching into a wild gallop across the field, dust erupting behind him like smoke from a battlefield. For a terrifying instant, it seems the boy will be thrown like the others, but Alexander does not fight the horse, he guides it. His posture remains balanced, his grip firm but respectful. Slowly, the chaos gives way to control, the horse's movement steady, and disbelief spreads through the watching crowd. When Alexander returns, riding proudly atop the once untamable beast, silence blankets the field. Philip steps forward, emotion breaking through his hardened exterior. He embraces his son and declares that Macedon is too small for him. The crowd erupts, and something deeper has occurred. A destiny has revealed itself. Years pass, yet the lesson of that day never fades. Alexander studies warfare, philosophy, and leadership with relentless hunger. He learns that battles are won not by brute force alone, but by understanding fear, terrain, and human nature. Bucephalus remains by his side, a living reminder of insight over instinct. When Philip is assassinated, the throne passes to Alexander amid doubt and unrest. Rival cities rebel, Enemies test the young king's resolve. He responds with speed and precision, crushing resistance before it can spread. The boy who once faced a horse now faces entire armies and sees their weaknesses just as clearly. Campaign after campaign, Alexander leads his army farther than any Macedonian king before him. Rivers believed uncrossable are crossed. Armies thought invincible are broken. His soldiers follow not just a king, but a mind that sees opportunity where others see doom. Across Persia and beyond, Alexander and Bucephalus charge into legend. The once terrified horse becomes unstoppable, carrying its rider through fire and steel. Victories pile up, but so do the costs. Cities burn, lives are lost, and the weight of conquest grows heavier with each triumph. Despite his power, Alexander remains restless, driven by an inner fire that no conquest can extinguish. He pushes eastward, beyond the edges of the known world, chasing a vision only he can see. His army follows, exhausted yet loyal, bound by belief as much as command. In distant lands, Bucephalus grows old. The horse that once trembled now bears the scars of countless battles. When it finally collapses, Alexander is overcome with grief. He names a city after the horse, honoring the creature that first revealed his destiny. Not long after, Alexander himself falls ill. The conqueror of empires lies powerless far from home. At just 32, his life ends, leaving behind an empire too vast to hold together. The world he reshaped begins to fracture almost immediately. Generals divide his lands, and wars erupt over his legacy. Yet Alexander's influence does not fade. His strategies are studied, his name spoken with awe. Across centuries, he remains a symbol of ambition without limits. Historians return again and again to the beginning, not to a battlefield, but to a dusty field in Macedon, to a boy, a horse, and a moment of understanding. It is there, not in conquest, that the essence of Alexander's greatness is found. The story of Alexander reminds us that greatness does not begin with crowns or armies. It begins with perception, the courage to see what others overlook. When the boy turned Bucephalus toward the sun, he did more than tame a horse. He revealed a way of thinking that would change history forever.